Amazing, unforgettable weekend in Las Vegas amongst all NFL fans and a lot of Raider players. We're back. It's Talk That Shit Tuesday. We will hear from you guys. We also have a lot of news to talk about tonight. It all goes down next right here on Hammers.House.
The United States are strongly encouraged to shelter in place to avoid being attacked or taken hostage. To shelter in place, take the following precautions. Close all windows and doors, and all lights.
Welcome to the official, the original, the only house for Las Vegas Raiders news, UFC news, WWE, all news, rumors, updates, and live streams. Welcome to Hammers House. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday evening wherever you guys are at. On your way in, y'all know the routine. And if you don't, I'm going to learn you. Break them thumbs, hit them subs, smash the bell. Salute to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we have a lot to talk about today. We will hear from you guys as well. I do have a special guest that's going to be coming on, and I want to hear from those that were in attendance at the Pro Bowl this past weekend at Allegiant. I'm going to open up the line once we get through all the news that we need to get into. So we're going to go right into it. And yes, the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes takes a wild, wild turn. We will get into that. And I also have something to talk about first before we get into this craziness that we heard about a couple of hours ago, courtesy of the Pat McAfee show. Go figure. Oops, hold up. That's wrong. Sorry, guys. All right. The Green Bay Packers have been the betting favorite to beat Aaron Rodgers' team for week one of the 2023 season. Not anymore. You guys saw the things that were going on through the golf outing and the Pro Bowl. The Las Vegas Raiders are now the overwhelming favorite to beat Aaron Rodgers' team for the 2023 season, well ahead of the New York Jets and Rodgers' current team, the Green Bay Packers. Now, seen some things, heard some things. There was a post overnight, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook, that the Raiders are a massive minus 450 to be the four-time MVP's new team, with receiver Devontae Adams leading the public recruiting. That has been implied over the last couple of weeks and more or less since Carr was put on the bench. That puts us an 81.8% chance. Look, we saw this movie last year, but we shall see. The New York Jets with offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett provided a friendly face and familiar scheme for Aaron Rodgers, but they have fallen back now at plus 350. The Packers had been the betting favorite to retain Rodgers as of last week. However, they've gone from a minus 110 to plus 600. For people that don't know math, and no disrespect to any of y'all, but it went from a 52.4% chance to 14.3% for the Green Bay Packers. In other words, Rodgers going back to Green Bay would be a major upset with that probability in place right now. During the previous DraftKings updates, and this one was posted about a week ago and taken down a few days later, the Packers were minus 110. The Jets had closed at plus 115, and the Raiders were at a distant plus 750. The major movement in the odds stems, at least in some part, from Tay. His presence has been made. His presence has been loud and clear as a viable trade partner all along. In recent days, it's been a public stance about his desire for the Raiders, who are moving on from Carr, his longtime friend, to acquire his longtime quarterback. The odds have moved sharply over the last couple of days, especially as a result of the Pro Bowl weekend and the Pro-Am that Aaron Rodgers participated in. This is what Tay had to say. Would I be interested in having Aaron Rodgers throw to me? Adams told reporters after the Pro Bowl, yes. I would love that. Look, I heard Stephen A. Smith the other day. It seems like he feels that they were in cahoots with this whole plan, Tay coming last year, and now Rodgers potentially coming this season. Tay has known himself to be the first team all troll. Don't take none of that too serious, but I would love to have Rodgers, and obviously that would be a dream scenario, one that I'm very familiar with. But anything you see on Twitter, that's not a tell of anything. That's just wishful thinking. So it is something to consider, something that we have talked about, but that's just half of the story that's going on right now. Like I said, I don't know what the hell is going on right now. A couple of hours ago on the Pat McAfee show, go figure, there were some things said by Derek Carr on his weekly talk with Pat McAfee. And yeah, we're going to get into it momentarily. Give me one sec. I'm trying to fix some things on here. I want to make sure everything's on the up and up. But yes, Aaron Rodgers hopes the darkness will come, will help him see the light about his future. He said on the McAfee show that he will embark on a 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat soon after the Super Bowl on Sunday. Now, this is a darkness retreat is something I'm not familiar with. I've never heard of. It's something that I'm just like, what are we doing? So Aaron Rodgers said, I've got a pretty cool opportunity to do a little self-reflection and some isolation. And then after that, I feel like I'll be a lot closer to a final decision. Ultimately, that would mean probably by Friday. He said that he has not decided if he will play in 2023, whether that's with the Packers or another team, amid reports that he is on the trading block. I am very, very iffy about this. This whole thing with a retreat and doing all this weirdness, it has Aaron Rodgers written all over it. Heard the little retreat that he did last year, things that he says when he is not on the field. Like I've said, he's a solid player on the field. When he's off the field, he might be categorized in that same spot as a couple of others, like Kyrie, AB, and Kanye West, in regards to the cuckoo-ness that comes out of their mouths at times. Is there a trade possible? Yeah. Do we really know the full extent right now? No. We talked about it last night, but Aaron Rodgers also said for sure it's a real thing, 100%. Rodgers said of retirement, that's why it's going to be important to get through this week and to take my isolation retreat and just to be able to contemplate all things my future and then be able to make a decision that I think is best for me moving forward and in the highest interest of happiness, and then move forward. He said last summer that he would partake in this ceremony that can produce hallucinations similar to certain type of drugs. He said that the darkness retreat does not include that type of drug. It's just sitting in isolation, meditation, dealing with your thoughts, Rodgers said. It stimulates DMT, so there can be some hallucinations in there, but it's just kind of sitting in silence, which most of us never do. We rarely even turn off our phones or put the blinds down to sleep in darkness. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, for the record, I make sure the curtains are closed, blackout, and sleep at night. So I don't know where he was going with that one, but he also said that the retreat will be alone in the confines of a small house in an undisclosed location. He said meals are delivered, but otherwise there's no other contact with the outside world. However, he could leave at any point during the stay if he chose to do so. It's just sitting in isolation, meditation, dealing with your thoughts. It stimulates DMT, so there can be some hallucinations in there, but it's just kind of sitting in silence, which most of us never do. Look, I don't know how I feel about this. Like I said at the start, the betting odds right now has us at an 82% chance of potentially getting Aaron Rodgers here. now ultimately we have to wait until next Friday when this retreat concludes to ultimately find out from him, is he going to continue playing football? Is he going to retire? We do not know at this point in time. We have to take this as it goes. Longy, it's not a now what? Not yet. Not yet. But look, we've talked about plan B, plan C pretty much because, look, we know last week rather, Tom Brady announced his retirement from the league. Ultimately, we think that that is a done deal. He has 375 million reasons to step away from the game as a Fox analyst, making $37.5 million a year. That plan A is gone. Rodgers is out there right now. That's plan B. Plan C ultimately is to probably keep Jarrett Stidham as the starting quarterback and potentially draft a quarterback in the draft, whether it be AR-15, Hendon Hooker, or another quarterback that's going to be in this draft. Again, it's all a timely thing, and time will tell with this. But like I said, we go from having these high betting odds as early as this morning to midday this afternoon of this whole situation going way left incredibly quickly. So now, look, the ball legit is in Aaron Rodgers' court to make this decision. He'll go on this retreat 4 days, 4 nights, and ultimately hoping we hear something come Friday. Realistically, we'll probably hear something the following week when he's on another Pat McAfee show. So we shall see how that goes moving forward. Am I concerned? Yes. Another Hall of Fame caliber quarterback that could really turn this around for us. And now we come down to this news. So it's very, very trying right now. I just got to wait and see how this plays out. We move on. Senior Bowl behind us. Super Bowl is days away. We have 9 days remaining, actually 8 days remaining for whether we're trading or cutting Derek Carr. We know that the move is inevitable. We'll hear something, and hopefully in the next couple of days, we do have some Derek Carr news as well to talk about. But as it stands now, we've already seen the mock drafts being done. We've seen the mock drafts have started by various analysts on the internet. Probably about 2 weeks ago did it start. We've seen a lot of the same names over and over and over again in these mock drafts. And there are a lot of guys right now. A lot of us have talked, we need a defense, we need a defense, we need defense. Some of these players that are being mentioned right now to start this are a lot of offensive linemen that are being placed in these mock drafts under us with our 7th overall pick. The one name that we've heard a lot, and I've mentioned this about 2 weeks ago, was Peter Skoronski, the tackle out of Northwestern. There have been other names that have been thrown out there by all these internet and mock draft analysts. Christian Gonzalez, the cornerback out of Oregon. Paris Johnson has been a heavily named favorite, the tackle out of Ohio State. Will Levis has been the name that's been thrown out there a couple of times. CJ Stroud was thrown out there once or twice. It's all over the place right now with hearing this, seeing this, and ultimately AR-15 is another guy that's out there as well at the quarterback position. Ultimately, we have about 2 months before a decision is made. In regards to seeing an offensive tackle being put out there right now, I think it would only happen if we were happen to get Aaron Rodgers. A tackle that I definitely I would consider is Paris Johnson. He is a strong tackle, but you can plug and play him anywhere. He can play both ends of the offensive line. He could also be moved to the interior and play guard. He definitely is a guy that could be a day one starter in the league, so I wouldn't mind it. But at the same time, we have to know that potentially Aaron Rodgers is here. I'm sitting here, I think about this. I've seen this over and over and over again with all these names. And like I said, the most picked players out of these mock drafts so far, and they've only been doing this for about 2 or 3 weeks, Peter Skoronski has been picked the most. Then Will Levis, Paris Johnson, they're both tied. You have Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud tied. it was made out of 27 picks total. 24 of them, I believe, were going offensive players, and only 3 were going defensive players. So it's kind of crazy to see that at this point in time when we know ultimately we need a defensive tackles primarily if we can grab them. We know Jalen Carter's most likely not going to be there for us at 7. We also know that there's other linemen there. There's a good chance that they could be snatched up. Will Anderson being another one. Tyree Wilson, maybe he's there at 7, maybe he's not. Is Skoronski the lineman? No, Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson is the one that plays all over. Paris Johnson is the one that they're very high on, the tackle out of Ohio State. Like I said, they said he can play both left and right tackle. He can be moved around on the interior as well, excluding the center position. So, look, again, it makes sense if, we get Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, with the whole situation with Derek Carr, are we getting another draft pick in the first round that will compensate us in regards to making the right and necessary moves in this upcoming draft? Time will tell. The consensus down the board with it is just crazy right now. I did see something earlier today that there was a mock draft that was out there as if we did trade away our seventh overall pick. And I'm like, unless this is official, there's no need to even try to do this in the mock draft. I know I've done it in regards to my ideal situation. If I was a GM, what I would do to trade away Derek Carr and get some compensation back from the Jets potentially. But even that, a lot of people out here, a lot of people with ESPN are shooting it down. At least the people from ESPN New York, they're shooting it down. Now they're back on this kick they still think Aaron Rodgers is going to come to them. They also think that they're going to get Lamar Jackson. Like, these guys are constantly making up these narratives, creating these stories. It's an offseason for all the other teams except for the Eagles and the Chiefs, but creating the drama and the narratives for people to just click on and realistically be baited on. It's funny to see that stuff. We'll bring you guys, or I try to bring you guys the most accurate information that I have. I'm not going to sit here and create clickbait. What's wrong with me? Clickbait and cause mass hysteria and people running around in circles. Why? Where? What? Where? Who? No, it's not even like that for me. Not at all. We move on. We're going to talk about the Pro Bowl, which was, again, an amazing experience, a great time. The facility itself, it was my second time in there. I honestly think, and I'm going to read this to you guys in regards to my thoughts on this. Look, we saw Hawaii as the landing spot for the Pro Bowl for years. From the time I was a kid, the Pro Bowl was in Hawaii. This is the second straight year that the Pro Bowl was in Las Vegas. I really think that should be the destination. Shout out to Mateo on the 199. I think that realistically that Las Vegas should be the ultimate landing spot for the Pro Bowl moving forward. Pretty much every team was represented there in the stands. Everybody came together. It was a great time. I know I said it. And look, I will tell you when I say things and I will take things back. I said, like, who the hell is going to want to watch this flag football game? I had the opportunity to go out there, and it was an experience of a lifetime. Look, the game was okay. Some of the other events that they had were pretty cool as well. But again, I think ultimately Las Vegas should be that spot, most definitely. It's a state-of-the-art facility. A lot of players seem to enjoy it. The players and the media were extremely impressed with what they saw over the weekend. Peyton Manning said, I liked this facility a lot. I came to a game here, saw the Raiders play the Chargers earlier this year. It's a great place to watch a game. I was listening to some of the players. They were talking about how they enjoy playing here as well. Look, like I said, it's an amazing facility. It's really ultimately right now the palace of the NFL. I know that a lot of us have been bothered and annoyed that a lot of the opposing teams fans end up in that stadium and at times end up just out blacking more or less. That's the best way to put it, because look, we know we're supposed to have a whole blackout when we're in that stadium, but we've seen seas of red, seas of blue, you name it, we've probably seen it, and it is disheartening. At the same time, it's not always affordable for the normal Joe fan. We know that certain things were added in that stadium, the Win Club being one of them, some of the season ticket holders and their seats and how much they cost. A lot of the people that have bought these tickets will normally put them up on third-party sites, and the tickets end up being more astronomical than they really need to be. For what it's worth, and for what I spent out there, it was affordable, and it was just an overall great time and a great experience, most definitely. So I can't be against it. I just wish that I realistically think that they say winning is the overall cure-all. Maybe if we were winning more, we would see a lot more fans in the stands, a lot more in black. Maybe this transition, maybe if we do in fact end up getting Aaron Rodgers, that look, there will be some asses in the seats, and it'll be a lot more asses in black than it will be any other color from any of the opposing teams moving forward. That's what I think, anyways. Let's go. Moving on, and for those that heard yesterday, Graf, and shout out to him, he was able to have a really dope conversation with Marcus Peters, who's now a free agent cornerback. They spoke for close to a half hour, and Graf was trying to sway him to come to the silver and black. But here we go. With the perpetual hole at corner, the Raiders will have a chance to rectify that this offseason. Marcus Peters could be the answer to this team's woes. There you go. Of course, after we have this conversation, this is what happens. As all members of Raider Nation know, the Las Vegas Raiders defense has been a problem for ages. Not capable of creating turnovers or getting stops, the team lacks talent and quality coaching on that side of the ball. This past season, we placed 26 overall in points allowed. While we did have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Max Crosby, the rest of the group left much to the undesired. Unfortunately, for us, spending big on Chandler Jones didn't really pay off as well. He only recorded 4.5 sacks. We knew that our secondary was a huge problem as well. We made 2 big additions. We got Anthony Averett. We signed Rock Ya-Sin, who was on the final year of his contract. Ya-Sin was solid until he got hurt. He finished with a PFF grade of 65.7. Averett only appeared in 7 games and was just not that guy. They're both scheduled to be free agents. We're hoping Rock Ya-Sin is brought back. He definitely is the type of guy that could be a shutdown corner. But with Marcus Peters available, we should consider trying to acquire him and making him a priority in the secondary. A lot of people have talked about bringing him in. A lot of you in the chat have talked about bringing him in as well. Just imagine this scenario. Marcus Peters, corner number 1. You have Nate Hobbs as corner 2, and then at the slot, Amik Robertson. Look, Amik Robertson did have flashes throughout this past season. Nate Hobbs was doing a really good job as a solid number 1, but then when you're playing opposite of an undrafted rookie, doesn't really help the cause very much when you have technically a vet out of Nate Hobbs with somebody that just came into the league and is learning as he goes. I like the idea of trying to find a way to bring Marcus Peters here. Again, thinking about those 3 corners, I think it would be a good situation. Omnicron said, Marcus Peters corner, Christian Gonzalez sounds good. Look, I have been high. You guys know how I feel about Oregon, and Oregon always seems to produce some very, very solid players out of their secondary. I'm for it. I like the kid. I've seen his tape. He's definitely a guy he's another one that could potentially be a day 1 starter moving forward. So I like the idea. We have to take it as it goes, though. Peters is a free agent. Draft Cam Smith or Darius Rush from South Carolina. Let Meek fight for his spot. King, I like that. King Joshua, I like that. Rather have cornerback 1, Peters, corner 2, Porter Gonzalez, and put back Hobbs at the slot. That could be done too. A-Rod is turning into Look, I just said it. Look, I think he can be added to that room that I would love to be the fly on the wall. Kyrie Irving, Antonio Brown, Kanye West, and now A-Ron. Like, I think that would be a very, very interesting conversation amongst the 4 of those guys. Do you trust DC to be traded? Please explain. We need that money. Raider man, either way, he gets traded or we cut him and we save $40.5 million. So either way, we're going to save this money. I'm hoping. I like the idea of a trade for the simple fact that we could get some type of draft capital back. But look, if all things fail, just cut them and that's it. You sever ties, wash your hands clean, a $40.5 million on the books, and you're good to go. That's how I feel about it. Okay, Raider man, I did highlight you. I want to make sure I did. Shout out to Old School. Shout out to Old School on the $5.99. I'm kind of disappointed that the other sound effect isn't up, but I guess that'll only work when we're using Streamlabs. So I'm perfectly fine with that tonight. Let's see. So there are reports out there about another potential trade candidate for Derek Carr as we go into this conversation now, since it was brought up by you guys. And like I said, we have 8 days remaining with this situation that is Derek Carr. Now there's another team that's involved, and this was a team that I talked about as far back as last year as potentially being a really good destination for him. But that destination was when another coach was there, and that coach was Sean Payton. And I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints. The Saints would have they have the 29th overall, so it's like the 3rd, 4th to last in the draft. They are definitely in desperate need of a quarterback. I've also said that the remaining NFC South needs a veteran quarterback for their teams. I've talked about Tampa, but right now it seems that the Saints might be that wave. There have been reports out there that he is going to New Orleans. Do I know when? No, but this has become the new hot topic over the last couple of hours, which it is what it is. Like I said, most likely we have to make something happen soon. The Saints are going to push or acquire Derek Carr. The connection is one that is probably the best chance of happening. It would certainly be an intriguing landing spot for him. They have some nice pieces if you think about it. You got Kamara over there. You have rookie receiver Chris Olave. They also had a top 10 defense last season, so they're not far from being a playoff team. With Tom Brady out of there, out of the NFC South, it seems like it would be a good possibility and a good move for Derek Carr. But again, it's something that we have to wait and see. Like I said, there are reports out there that he's going to New Orleans for whatever reason. Maybe he's just going to hang out and go chill on Bourbon Street, whatever the case may be. But again, we have 8 days remaining before ultimately a decision is made of Derek Carr being cut or traded. So we just have to take it as it goes at this point in time. Trying to think if I missed anything on this, and I don't think I did. So now the floor is going to be open. I actually need to send one quick message. Let me do this real quickly. And those that are in here, if you haven't already, please break them thumbs, hit them subs, smash the bell. Let's get that algorithm jumping, y'all. You know what? I'm going to put the link in the chat. I do have one specific person that is supposed to pull up. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and they will, if anybody else pulls up backstage, apologies, but you guys are going to have to wait. Let's do this. So I'm going to put it in the chat right now. But like I said, this is for one specific person for the time being. So let me get that person on. We're going to chat. And again, if any of you were at the Pro Bowl, if any of you were in Vegas, if any of you guys were in Allegiant Stadium on Sunday, I would love for you guys to pull on up as well. I want you guys to share your experience inside the stadium and what you saw and your reactions to that. Once we're able to get through that, I want people to sound off on everything we talked about tonight because, again, it's your day. It's Talk That Shit Tuesday. I want to hear from you guys. It's all about you. Tomorrow, we will be live. We will be back with our Warzone Wednesdays. Everything is up. Everything's already set up. If you guys go to my YouTube channel, you will see the link for it. You guys will see the gamer tag. The Xbox gamer tag is, of course, Hammers.House. It's all one word. And then the Activision one is Hammers_House number. I can't remember those numbers. I never remember those numbers. So bear with me on that one, guys. Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, the resident meathead is here. Yeah, let's go, bro.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Just here at work, making these kids pick up trash. So first and foremost, I think that this whole thing with Carr is really intriguing in New Orleans, especially I heard that he's flying out tomorrow. And the big thing is remember the Raiders gave him permission to go. He was supposed to they're supposed to have like a deal in place before he even goes. So right now there should already be a compensation deal already. Whether it goes through or not tomorrow, who knows? I'm pretty sure Derek Carr wants to get there quick because he wants to get the plays down and everything else. I think that it might happen tomorrow, and I'm hoping, I mean, most likely we'll probably get like a 2 or something, but who knows? They might give us that 29th pick that they got for Sean Payton.
This is all news to me in regards to him like flying out there tomorrow and everything. So look, Rob just brought us some breaking news in regards to the Derek Carr saga.
Yeah, I seen that from it was Sanjeet that had reported it. Somebody that he's close to had posted it, and then literally after I'd seen that, because right before you came on, I was watching Mitchell Renz, and it had popped up on my Twitter feed, and then not too long after that, all the breaking news, Ian Rappaport and everybody else. So it looks like that he's flying out tomorrow, and a deal has already been put in place. That's the only way that the Raiders would have allowed him to go.
Look, I'm for it. Like I said, last year, even with Sean Payton there, we talked about potentially Carr going somewhere else where maybe he can succeed. And the Saints were one of those teams that I said wouldn't be a bad destination for him. And it's not like if we trade him there that we're necessarily doing him dirty. So I'm for it, man. At this point, I'm really for it.
One question I have is, do you think that the deal that's in place, because the way I look at it, New Orleans has some players, right? Do you think Derek Carr would have agreed to it if unless they said, we're gonna send Renfro with you?
Honestly, I don't know. I've talked about this in regards to Renfro. Like, I like the idea of potentially sending Renfro as well. Like, we've heard Wasted talk about it, and I've said it as well. Like, we had this conversation last night that, look, the dude's an amazing route runner. At the same time, like, dude is hurt more often than not at times, and he's one of those guys that, like, he's not your prototypical NFL receiver. And I feel like, and I don't wish this on anybody, I don't wish, like, injuries on anybody, but, like, I feel like one bad hit could be it for him. And that's my number one concern.
I agree. Oh, by the way, prayers up for Jerry Lawler. He had a stroke.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So prayers up.
God.
But let me get my big ass off this damn thing so you can have other people pop in.
Appreciate you, brother. Always. We'll definitely be talking soon.
All right, brother.
Later. That was our resident meathead, Rob Cisneros. Much love to him. Halo put it in the chat. You guys can see it on the screen right now. For those that have the PCs, those that have PS5, that's the Activision ID. So if you guys want to pull up tomorrow for Warzone and join and squad up, there it is right there. Pull on up. Let's have another good time with that. We finished, 9th place The other day playing it, I've actually altered a couple of my snipers, so we'll have the right one to have some fun and take some people out tomorrow. Most definitely. What am I looking for? Give me one sec, guys. I'm sorry for the dead air. And again, prayers up to Jerry Lawler. Prayers up to Jerry Lawler. Let's see. Well, back to football. There you go. Well, come on. You know, we do have a special guest behind this backstage. We had the opportunity to meet in person during the Pro Bowl, and I reached out, wanted to hear her experience at the game. Without any further ado, you know her from For Life, Our Raiders Story on YouTube. Make sure to check them out and subscribe to their channel. Without any further ado,
Hi.
It is Spicy Raider Girl. What is going on?
Hey, how are you? Good to be on your show. Thanks for having me. It's so nice to hang out with you this weekend.
Definitely. So I didn't even realize that you were like right behind us when we were in there. I turned, I had to do a double take, and I'm like, oh shit, like what is good?
I crept up on y'all.
Definitely.
No, DJ Mike Scott told me you were over there, so I know I came looking for you.
That's my guy. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to DJ Mike. I want to hear your experience and just overall your vibes when you were inside the stadium and what you thought of the game as well.
Yeah, I thought the game was okay, kind of like you said. It was a lot of monotonous in that aspect, but really, I think just the event was really good. I mean, especially like you had mentioned earlier. You and I were in the Win Club, so it was a good opportunity to network, meet some people that maybe we've only met, via, YouTube or something like that. To meet new people. And in that aspect, I thought it was a really cool vibe, and it was actually fun. I mean, if you enjoy just getting to see the players, and because the players were very like welcoming, everyone, from what I can tell, a lot of the players were coming over, taking pictures, signing autographs, all that kind of stuff. So for me, I thought it was a good event, and it was cool to see we're playing like a little game, like let's see if we could find someone representing every team type of thing, which I think I saw every team represented. So yeah, if you ever have a chance to go, if you're watching, you didn't make it out to Vegas, I would definitely recommend it. And to your point also, I think it was like $25 to get in, so it was super affordable.
Right.
And yeah, I'll put my vote in for an annual Las Vegas Pro Bowl.
I'm for it. And I'm telling you now, if that does end up being the scenario, like I wouldn't mind coming out there for the Pro Bowl every freaking season until like I'm old and grayer than I already am. Like it was just overall a great experience. I will ask you this.
Okay.
No. No, you know what? You're right. It is an uh-oh. How did you feel about DC's performance?
Well, I guess it's nice to see his final interception as a Raider in Allegiant Stadium. No, I mean, listen. I kind of kid, but the Raiders fans that were there, they did give him a nice ovation when he was announced. He seemed appreciative of it. He poked fun at himself at the skills challenge a couple of days prior. So I think it was just one of those things, and we all wanted to see what was going to happen, right? I wanted to see the reaction. Was he going to get booed? Was he going to get cheered? All those types of things.
I figured he was going to get cheered, but I also, I told Graf and everybody that we were sitting with, I was like, don't be surprised if he throws an interception. I just put it out there. I was like, it would be dope if we saw him throw his final touchdown in Allegiant to Tay But I was like, there's a good chance he's going to throw a pick. And I spoke to Bart Scott and Alan Hahn this morning from ESPN Radio New York, having this conversation because all of a sudden they're on this kick that Rodgers is going to be a Jet and this, that, and the third. And I shut that down, but I also talked about Carr. And my exact words were, who the hell goes 4-and-out in a flag football game? that just it blew my mind. And
Right.
we joked about it last night, and people were like, well, that was DC in midseason form. And I was just
Right.
like, I give up.
Unfortunately. But, you know, I know we got to talk about it, and we got to talk about the DC thing more because, you know, the trades that can come in to the Raiders and things of that nature. But I'm just excited to see who the Raiders are going to get. You know, it's like it's one of those situations we can't do anything about it. And it's a really exciting, I think, off season, probably the most excited I've been in an off season in a very long time. So I'm excited to see who's going to come. And look, it does look like it could be Rodgers. I mean, Tay's putting some stuff out there that's it's not so it's not actually that subtle if you think about it. Of course, we have no idea, and we're not going to know until we know. But I don't know. It looks like it's an option.
All right, so I know you were watching from the start, and we talked about the situation with Rodgers, and now he's going on this darkness retreat starting next week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that he's going to come out of that retreat? And like I said, it's probably going to be the following week that we hear anything because the retreat is going to be done like next Friday, but he'll most likely make his announcement like he did last year on the Pat McAfee show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he returns to the league, or do you think he announces his retirement?
Oh, interesting. I think he returns to the league. Yeah. And I didn't consider maybe that's why he's there, just to figure that out. But I think he returns. And you know, I've known people to do something like that. I could never do it. It sounds gnarly. I mean, the last thing I want to do is be in my head with my own thoughts for 4. Good.
Like, no, I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't imagine. Then it's like things that we were talking about in regards to like there could be hallucinations and stuff. Like when I see that and I was reading that, I instantly thought of, and people in the chat are probably going to be like, oh yeah, it kind of sounds right. Yellowstone, when the one brother was sent out into the land by himself, like half naked, and was out there for like almost a full week with nothing, and he started seeing some weird shit. And that's what popped into mind when I saw it. I was just like, this is really, really weird.
Well, you know, the other thing is too, let's see if he actually makes it. Because like I said, I've known people that have done this, and well, you know, one person in specific that I knew that did it, I can almost speak. He was saying that most of the people left early. He actually made it to the end, but most of the people couldn't tolerate it and decided.
I don't think I'd be able to. Like, look, my phone died the other day, and I actually was able to survive. Like, my battery was dead for the first time since God knows when, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Outside world is cut off at least for another 2 hours. Okay, but
that's okay.
I'm thinking about this shit now, and it's like, is he going to have like a hallucination in this darkness retreat and see Rick James screaming darkness while he's in there? Like, yeah, darkness, everybody, darkness.
Yeah.
It's just going to, it's definitely not my cup of tea. I most definitely couldn't see myself ever doing something like that. But look, hopefully he comes out and he tells us, hey, I'm back. I'm ready to play football again. And we see what type of offers are made. Like, me and Graf spoke about it over the weekend. A couple of us spoke about it over the weekend, especially the more and more that we were hearing stuff on Aaron Rodgers while we were in the stadium. And we were like, I give it 36 to 48 hours and we're going to hear something. Well, 36 to 48 hours later, we did hear something. He's going on a retreat, and we won't know ultimately until probably 2 weeks from today when he's back on Pat McAfee's show, making an ultimate decision whether or not he's going to come back. So we'll see.
I think actually it'll get leaked before it's announced.
Think so?
I think so. But to go back to the Pro Bowl just a little bit, not just the game, I do want to mention, I know you attended a few events. The 8 Cigar Lounge at the Resorts World held 2 events, one on Saturday and one on Sunday night. And Raiders players showed up to just hang out. Mark Davis was there, Mad Max. You saw more people than I did because I only went on one night. I think you saw what Waller and Beast Mode were there the night before. But that's
Waller,
just
Waller,
so nice.
Waller, Beast Mode, Max,
Yeah.
Marcus Peters, Mark Davis.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
So I think, I mean, I like events like that. That's more my style of something to go to.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed those events. It was actually kind of a free event, depending on, if you're going to go spend money on cigars and booze. Of course, it costs money in that aspect. But, there's no charge for admission or anything like that. So you can
Right.
literally just go hang out with the guys.
Shout out to Nick Kwiatkowski, by the way, on that Cohiba, because man, that cigar was life.
Oh, that's what he gave you?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Such a solid dude. So, and we got to hang out and spend the day with him on Sunday in our section in the Win Club, and he's such a chill dude. Another guy from the East Coast, so we hit it off right away. We were having some real good conversations, and Graf was having great conversations with him as well. So, much love, much respect to Nick. He wants to come back as a Raider, and me and Graf had the conversation before he was even in front of us again. I asked, "Do you think Nick would fit good in Patrick Graham's defensive scheme?" And he said, yeah, whether he's switching to 4-3 or 3-4, when he's healthy, he would thrive in the system. And we legit asked him, does he think he would fit? And he said yes. Shout out to Intel on the $49.99. Holy shit, brother. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. I'll consider that my late birthday present. Much love to you, bro. Thank you so much. But yeah, like he was like, oh, definitely. And he wants to be here. He still lives out there. He would love the opportunity to come back. I'm for it. When he's healthy, and he admitted it to us, when he's healthy, he can't be stopped. I would love to have that dude back.
Well, and I think, just the fact that he's kind of hanging around the atmosphere makes it seem like he wants to be a part of it, right? Get that little taste. Yeah. I think to me, those are good signs.
I did make sure, because at one point I was live in the stadium and he's like walking around and walking by me, and we said down the road we will do something, but he legit ducked under my phone to avoid being on camera, and I'm like, bro, no, I get it, you're good. Like, that shit had me dying. I was like, I can't with this dude.
I didn't see him over there. Maybe he wasn't there when I was chatting with you guys.
Oh shit. Intel, bro. Oh my God. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. You know what? I'm going to attempt to play the sound effect because it's supposed to work when we get super chats, but today for some reason it's not. But I'll try it and hope you guys hear it.
I hear it.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, now we look forward to the next 8 days, and I absolutely want to hear your views on this. We trade or we cut DC. We know what it is. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a real landing spot? I know I'm talking about New Orleans now as being a very heavily favored trade option. Do you think a deal gets done before the 15th, or do you think we're ultimately cutting him by the 15th?
Yeah, I think the Raiders ultimately cut him, and this is why. I just don't think that anyone's going to pay him $40 million. I just don't see it happening. And this is what I think about Derek Carr in general. I do think he is a good player. I think he's a piece of a good puzzle, right? Like, if he goes to another team and he succeeds, it's going to be because he has, in my opinion, everything else around him, and he's going to be a piece of that. So they'll win. Whatever team he plays for will win because he's part of a good team, not because of him, if that makes sense. So but since he does have all the power, really, he's able to weigh all those things out to see where he fits in the best, right? Obviously, he needs an offensive line. I mean, without an offensive line, we all know he throws it away too often. He plays a little scared, all those types of things. So I think that's going to be his number one priority, is to look for a team that could protect him. And kind of like Tom Brady, right? He won with offensive lines. I mean, he wasn't very mobile.
But he also was one to take pay cuts
right.
to help the organization build a team around him for him to succeed. And that's the thing with DC. And I'm gonna ask you another question in regards to this situation. If he's cut, what realistically, in your opinion, is his market value? we do know that the franchise tag right now stands at $32 million. His contract, his annual average is supposed to be about $33 million. What do you think ultimately Derek Carr's actual market value is?
Okay, so I've looked at this kind of before, and I'm just going to refer to something I saw the other day because obviously there's this list of what quarterbacks are being paid, right?
Right.
And to me, where he lands, I know it's kind of like the going rate, if you will, but there are, to your point of Tom Brady, there are better quarterbacks making a lot less money than him, in my opinion. So I don't know. I would say maybe 70, maybe 75% of that.
So if you were a GM right now and you had the opportunity to sign Derek Carr, what are you going to offer him?
Oy, that's so tough, so tough. 12 million bucks.
Damn! Holy shit. Wow.
Because I gotta buy an entire offensive line to protect him.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think he's taking that much, though. I don't think he's taking that little, rather. He's probably going to be like, thank you. I'm done. Nope. That's the thing, because even like out here right now, they've talked about the situation with the New York Football Giants and Daniel Jones. And, oh my God, Mike Tannenbaum, who's a former GM for the Jets and the Dolphins, stated that his agent should be shouting and demanding $50 million a year, which I think is a joke. Look, his first 4 years in the league wasn't so great, went through 2 different head coaches. Insert Brian Dable. The team got to the playoffs. Less turnover, Daniel Jones. I'm thinking you franchise tag him or you give him something similar to that of what Derek Carr got, maybe just a little bit more as the market has gone up. I can't see Derek Carr getting anything remotely near that average threshold now for a quarterback of $40 to $45 million.
Honest question: who would pay him that?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. I realistically do not see a team doing that. And if they do, best of luck to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't think he's worth that. And maybe I lowballed him a little bit, but I honestly don't think I lowballed him that much. Maybe 15.
Even that. Damn. This shit. I don't think he's thinking
okay, so what? So clearly you think that's a low ball. Where's your number land?
I would say anywhere in the ballpark of 25 to 20. Go, Big Mike. Good minds think alike, bro. Let me highlight that real quick. QB market is stupid these days. He's worth 12, but can probably get 25 to $30 million.
That's true. That's a good point, because that's how I started by saying, right? I said about 75%, but then clearly 75% is not 12 million. So kind of the same thing. I agree.
And a lot of other, like I'm seeing D-Mag said 20 to 25. Jason Singleton is saying 20 to 27. See, that to me is fair. Omnicron said Carr backup is Taysom Hill. Oh my, wait, Taysom Hill is his backup, or Carr is going to be the backup to Taysom Hill? Please let me just clarify that for me. I'm going to hell, y'all. Look, I never had anything against Derek Carr. I've told you guys this before. I'm not a Carr lover, a Carr Dashian, Carr Bashian, Carr Stan, whatever the fucking terminology is. I call what I see. If a player is messing up, if a player is not performing, I will call you out on it. When you're performing well, when this team is winning, I'll give you your credit where credit's due. But we know ultimately this season was a huge bust. I said it when Josh McDaniels came in. Josh McDaniels, it came off as he came here for Carr. The Carr was going to fit this system. You heard players say that learning the system was like learning Mandarin. Jarrett Stidham tried helping several of his teammates throughout training camp in the preseason for them to learn this system. Realistically, after that shutout game to the Saints, they probably should have reconsidered and reevaluated then what they were going to do moving forward. we might have had a better chance at winning. We heard Graff and Wasted say this the other day. If we had another quarterback, a solid veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady, like one of the elites, we would have made up being down 7 points or more and potentially being a 15-2 playoff team. So at this point, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Spicy, I know you said you had a whole bunch of things you had to do. You're a very busy woman. But I absolutely appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on and share with everybody the experience and talk some other Raider football as well. It's definitely a pleasure having you on.
Anytime. Yeah. Thank you for having me. We'll have to have you on over on our show for Life on Raider Story sometime. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel after this show, of course, go over and subscribe to ours, and we'll appreciate you. Thank you. It was nice to hang out with you this weekend.
Absolutely. Definitely be talking soon.
All right.
Take care. Shout out to Spicy Raider Girl again for Life Our Raider Story on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're coming up on, now I can see it, almost an hour. I'm going to put the link back in the chat because I really want to hear from you guys. I really want to hear from you guys in regards to everything we talked about today. I see you guys in the chat talking right now. You guys giving me the true market value of Derek Carr, which, look, a lot of us in here right now are in the same ballpark in regards to those type of numbers. So, again, I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys. Pull on up. It's your day. Y'all know what it is. It is Talk That Shit Tuesday. I want to hear from you guys. Today is all about you. Super Omnicron just subscribed to the channel, y'all. Welcome to the vault. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. Much appreciated. All right, let's put this in the chat, shall we? Is it there? Yeah. All right. So the link is in the chat right now. You guys want to pull on up. Like I said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on what we just covered in regards to all this news today. Aaron Rodgers' situation and his 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat. The situation that we just heard about in regards to Derek Carr. Your guys' potential draft picks. Who do you think we should get? What do you think in regards to what we talked about in regards to the recent developments over the last 2 weeks with all these analysts, these mock draft analysts, and the names that they've put out there? Again, Paris Johnson is a guy that a lot of people have constantly thrown in at number 7. Peter Skoronski is another one. Christian Gonzalez was thrown in there once. CJ Stroud, Will Levis. I want to hear from you guys right now. So pull on up and let's have this conversation, y'all. I keep moving back and forth between both of these chats and I keep messing it up, but here we go. Shout out to Jamal Williams. What's up, Hammer? It's looking like Carr to the Saints is getting real. Yeah. And again, we're 8 days away from the ultimate decision. So if something happens, if there's some type of compensation that's going to fit and it's going to work for this team moving forward, I'm here for it. Can we do something with that draft pick down the road? Like maybe using that 29th overall, if it happens to be the 29th overall, and using it as trade capital for Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers, in fact, decides to return to football, we shall see. Had the conversation last night. I said maybe next year's first, maybe this year's second. Andy brought a valid point to the table in regards to the age and the value of Aaron Rodgers, maybe this year's second and next year's third. We have to wait and see. I'm still trying to wait and see what the potential of this trade for DC is going to be as well. If he, in fact, is traded, we have to take this as it goes. Again, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to come in and sound off, today is Talk That Shit Tuesday. It's about each and every single one of y'all in here. So come on, let's have a good time. Mock draft or wishful thinking kind of tells you what they think of the Raiders. D-Mag, that's a valid point. Again, I keep doing that, and I keep hitting the wrong freaking thingy. And again, a perfect example is with quarterbacks in the first round. I've said this before. The first round of the draft as a whole, more quarterbacks in the first round than anything else, is truly a land of uncertainty. You've had a few in the first that were drafted that thrived, and others not so much. Zach Wilson being one of them right now. So at this point in time, yes, I still continue to believe it's a land of uncertainty. I've mentioned Hendon Hooker going in the third, maybe the fourth round. Now all of a sudden, Anthony Richardson is out the gates, and they're looking at him as a first-round pick. I'm nervous. I'm nervous to hear that because, like I said, at majority of the time, first-round quarterbacks are normally a land of uncertainty. So let's see. Omnicron brought another valid point to the table. There we go. Carr definitely durability. He would go out for exactly one play, had to break his leg before he would come out. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Look, he missed a total of like 2 games in his career, minus the benching. If you include the benching, it's like 4 games for his career. But injury-wise, he's only missed 2 for his career, right? No pick is safe until he's not. That's a fact. I like the QB scout posted about from ECU, Holton Ayers. That's another quarterback I guess I'm going to have to look at. Look, we did a mock draft last night, and some of the quarterbacks that were remaining, it was like, I don't know who a single one of these guys are. And no disrespect to them, but I just was not familiar with any of the other names that were remaining when we did that mock draft. I'm kind of tempted to do a mock draft before we leave tonight if you guys are up for it. And I'm not trading anything either. Getting QB. Oh, I'm sorry. Green Bay not getting our number 1 for Rodgers. Maybe a 2 or as low as a 3. There you go, D-Mag. There you go. Oh, he's a lefty? Okay. Yeah, lefties. How many? I can't even ask that question because there are a few that were successful, but, everybody likes righties. I write with my left, and I'm the outcast. Critique said he sold on Hooker. Look, I'm telling you now, if we ended up with Hooker, I'm buying a jersey right away. I wanted Malik Hooker in free agency last year. I was going crazy for that one. Let's get Hendon. I will buy a Hooker jersey. Hooker in Vegas, it just sounds right. Ken Stabler, Steve Young. Yep. And look, both of them had incredibly solid careers. So, yeah. 6'4", 230. He's a lefty and had over 1,400 rushing yards in his career, over 90 touchdown passes. Wow. Okay. But again, in the system, and we've talked about this with Anthony Richardson as well, do we experiment on a guy like that doesn't necessarily fit the prototypical quarterback of Josh McDaniels' offensive scheme? We saw how that movie went with Cam Newton, even though Cam Newton was on a decline, a huge decline. He was at the tail end of his career. Do we really want to go out there on the market and go through the draft and get a running quarterback? Like, that's something to definitely think about. Bro, Holton Air level of competition, but yeah, Bailey Zapp did well from small college background. Yeah, he definitely did. People aren't thinking about the cap hit if we take Rodgers. Carr's contract frees up money, but we still need to build on the O-line and defense. Raider J, you're 1,000% correct. We do. And there have been conversations. I can't say that I know how true they actually are, but there have been talks that, I guess this is the best way to put it. It's a rumor that like he's willing to restructure that contract. So again, only time will tell. Realistically, now with this situation, as I broke it to you guys earlier, we're probably not going to hear anything until 2 weeks from today. Carr will be gone by then. We will be bugging out once Carr is gone, and let me not say that, because a couple of us are going to be kind of good that he's gone, but it's going to be what's next for us now that Carr is gone and Rodgers is on this retreat. What is going to happen? Like I said, plan C is Stidham and drafting a quarterback. And we're going to have to roll with that, build up the defense through the draft and free agency, and see what the possibilities are. We've already been told, we heard this before, Josh McDaniels does not want to have a rookie quarterback starting the 2023 season. And there's a good chance we won't want to. Tay will throw a fit if we end up with a rookie quarterback as our starting quarterback, which I understand to an extent. But at the same time, we also know that Tay made it perfectly clear in the presser a week after Derek Carr was benched that he is going to have some type of input in regards to who our next potential quarterback is. And it's most likely going to be a vet. One name I didn't mention today, because for me, it's a guy that I wouldn't be too fond of having here, but I know he knows the system. That's Jimmy Garoppolo. We've talked about the bad aspects of Vegas, and for Jimmy Garoppolo, who likes porn stars, he may end up spending his days off in the bunny ranch, and maybe trip over a hooker or two and end up getting injured. So I got to see what happens with this, man. We all have to see what happens. Rodgers and the detention whore did the same shit last year. God damn. Well, look, Tom Brady did the same thing last year. Last week, a year to the day, announced his retirement. I was under the belief Giselle, the kids got sick of the dad jokes, and 5 weeks later, he said, you know what? I want to return to football. But I honestly, at this point, think Brady is done. Like, Brady is not coming back from this retirement at all. So, and that probably also means we won't see Rob Gronkowski come out of retirement either. Not to come to us, not to go anywhere else. There were talks that he would have loved to play for the Buffalo Bills. There was an offer that was made to him earlier in the season. Just didn't make sense to him. So get what you wanted. Got that quarterback carousel you and Graphic have been wanting. Not that I wanted. It's, look, every year when it comes to the NFL, I look forward to the quarterback carousel around the league, not necessarily it becoming a quarterback carousel for us or a quarterback bungalow. But look, I feel like the quarterback carousel around the league makes the league a lot more interesting. Free agency and the start of the new league year, which is March 15th, makes the league a lot more interesting. It gets you guys fired up and ready for the season, wishing the season was tomorrow, and seeing all these different aspects, all these shakes and moves and guys going here, guys going there, and what the possibilities are. So that's how I looked at it. That's how I've always looked at it. Us dealing with the quarterback carousel right now, it's kind of becoming a headache already. It kind of is. Jacobs on franchise tag. Guess he sits out the season. Why do people? You're the second person to say that to me today. Was he franchise tagged? Or is this what people just are thinking is going to happen? Brady is staying retired. There you go. Yeah, that's what I thought, because somebody else said it to me earlier today, and I'm like, what? Like, and for those that don't know, those that weren't on any of the lives from last night, I had the opportunity, the privilege, the honor, really, to speak with Josh Jacobs on Sunday after the game. And the conversation we had, you can call me a fanboy. I really don't care. Like, look, I will admire players. I've always been that way. And whoever you play for, there will be guys that play for other teams that I admire just because of their ability. But with Josh Jacobs, I told him straight up, came out of Bama before you were drafted, started calling you Beast Mode 2.0. I wanted you here, fucking solid running back. I didn't say it like that, but phenomenal running back. And we, the nation, we want you here for years to come. And he said, I want to be here. So we take it as it goes. I didn't say anything. I didn't bring up anything about money. Not my place, not my monkey, not my circus, but he wants to be here, guys. And for those that think otherwise, I don't know what to tell you, but Yeah, he wants to be here. Let me see what I'm missing. See, appreciate you pulling on up, dude. Dominique 5 was good. Can we afford to pay JJ and Rodgers? I think we can. It all depends on what type of contract Jacobs is offered. Now, the highest paid right now, if I remember correctly, is Christian McCaffrey. His average annual salary is $16 million, followed by Zeke. I think Zeke and Kamara are below him. And then below him, or them rather, is Aaron Jones and Dalvin Cook. I thought about this contract in regards to Jacobs, and I had said that a deal similar to what Dalvin Cook has right now currently, if you put Jacobs on an average annual anywhere between 13 and a half to about 14 and a half with like an out clause after year 3, then I don't see why not. But I'm not a GM. I like to talk numbers as much as I hate math. But I think realistically that it would be a good deal for him not to pass up. And again, I think we can all agree in here. And if you agree, you give me a thumbs up that you guys want Josh Jacobs here for another few years as well. I know I do. Hashtag pay JJ. Hashtag pay baby beast mode. But Josh Jacobs, if you're watching, please stay in the silver and black, brother. Please. What are we giving up for Rodgers, Gibby? Damn. I don't know if you guys heard that loud ass horn that just went by. It could potentially be like next year's first and this year's second, or this year's second and next year's third. It's very telling, but again, with this whole retreat, we don't know what the situation is right now. And like I said, it's probably going to be 2 weeks from today. He'll probably pop back up on Pat McAfee's show and make his announcement that he's coming back to play football, whatever the case may be. Jacobs is the key to this team getting to the next level. Not resigning would be a disaster. AC, talk that shit. You're 1,000% spot on with that, bro. We still need cap space to bring in proven talent. We also needed to pay JJ. Both Waller and Renfro only played half of the last 2 seasons. Again, there's a good chance that we could see Renfro potentially in a package deal with Derek Carr. Look, if the Saints are that team, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, if he's still there, Alvin Kamara, and Hunter Renfro, there's no reason that the Saints, let alone Derek Carr, can complain. I'll just need to get the job done. Super Omicron. I see it. Yeah, I was looking at Rated J's comment. But yeah, O-line not bad. Right guard is it. Carr is that bad. Jesus. Darren, come on, man. Can't say that you're wrong. And again, we've talked about the offensive line. Funny enough, I was looking at a video, a live that I did last year, where I was like, I don't want Brandon Parker back. That Illuminor could be that guy. Every once in a while, I'm wrong. 13 penalties, total lack of discipline. Shit happens. I know Graff has said that he would love to bring him back as a swing guy. Who's to say that Mumford can't be the starting right tackle? But again, a lot of people already have us going after offensive linemen in the draft. So take it as it goes. But also, I think the only way it makes sense is the only way it makes sense to try to get a lineman in the first round is if we, in fact, end up with Aaron Rodgers. Give him that boost at the right tackle position and that help, and maybe it'll take care of itself. Why do you think we get a first for Carr, but just giving a second for No, that's the thing. At this point in time, Chris, at this point in time, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a first, but with the in regards to where the Saints do have that draft pick, that's the 29th overall, there's a chance that it could happen, but I'm not gonna make any promises or guarantees on that either. Like I said, I take this as it goes and see what the possibilities are moving forward. That's it. The O-line needs a few pieces. Yeah. A2 and Lattimore. I'm going to guess, A2? I'm guessing you meant A12. In my opinion, I would not want to be held hostage by Rodgers every year. Wishy-washy decision to keep playing. We could get C.J. Stroud if available and sign Jimmy G with studio backup. No, that's not a bad idea, though. It's really not. But do you really see – look, I've told you guys the other day that, look, I started watching C.J. Stroud, and I'm like, oh, shit. Good pocket presence, accurate arm. Will extend plays with his legs if need be. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Like I said, with the whole Rodgers situation, if it doesn't work out, and I said this earlier in the show, if it doesn't work out, insert Stidham as a starter, and we draft a quarterback. So we're on the same page. I'm nervous. I'm looking at it again in regards to you saying Jimmy G. Jimmy G, I'm just very, very nervous, very, very hesitant about having here. I really am. Another guy that can't stay healthy. I don't know. D-Mag, if Stroud turns into a bust, like I said, round 1 for quarterbacks is a huge land of uncertainty. So realistically, it's kind of funny. The Las Vegas Raiders would be taking a huge gamble doing that. See what I did there? I know, not funny. It sounded like a terrible dad joke. But, yeah, like, I don't know. I'll start Stidham. Jimmy G can stay where he's at. Jason, there you go. Like I said, I'm incredibly, Jimmy G, pump the brakes. Hell yeah, Cisneros. I've wanted Lattimore for a few years now. Definitely got the Raiders mentality. Whoa. Ohio QBs are all – D-Mag, look, I said that for the longest time about Ohio State quarterbacks, but then again, I sat there for over an hour watching tape on Stroud, and I'm like, I think he does fit the system. I think he would be good, but you're one of those, just like I was. But like I said, I sat there and watched a nice amount of tape, and I'm like, maybe he could be that guy. I've said Stroud, I've said AR-15, Hendon Hooker. If we decide to go the route in the 3rd round and taking quarterback, but we'll see. Do you think we hold on to Carr if Rodgers plans to come back after the 15th? No, because Carr has already said he will not extend that deadline. So absolutely not. Rodgers goes under retreat Monday. The ultimate decision has to be made in 8 days on Carr. So, yeah, no. And I think that the way things have gone for Derek Carr, especially the tail end of the season, him being benched and everything, he's not going to want to come back here. Absolutely not. And I don't think the Raiders would want to bring him back after doing what they did. 2nd round of Lattimore for DC4. I like that. John Cena was good. Everyone's saying Carr to the Saints. Yeah, it's the hot trending topic. Derek Carr to the Saints. So, I don't know. Stroud doesn't real throw the deep ball, though. That's his weakness. You know what's funny? Not funny, but you're 1,000% correct. A lot of the balls that he threw, pause if necessary, they weren't necessarily deep balls, pause if necessary. But the placement on his throws were definitely on the money. And like I said, even if there's nothing there, he seems to be able to find ways to extend plays. So I would need it. Yeah, Darren, we talked about that before. And like I said, I knew nothing of it. I've constantly heard the Saints being mentioned. A lot of people have brought the Saints as a team to my attention as well. And like I said, last year with Sean Payton as a head coach, I thought it made sense. Look, Carr already has that relationship with Dennis Allen where this makes sense. So, look, go to New Orleans, go figure it out. The best thing I can say. What's up, Hammer? DC4 going to be in gold and black instead of the mighty silver and black. Raider Nation. Raider J, my fault. Let me go back. My fault. Let me get back up there, bro. I'm sorry. This is incredibly difficult trying to maintain this app when I do this. I'm going to feel like an asshole that I missed this. All right, here we go. Definitely bringing some valid points to the table tonight, brother. Appreciate you. Do you think we hold on to Carr if Rodgers plans to come back after the 15th and see who gets desperate and finally wants to trade after the carousel spins? That's the thing. Rodgers plans on doing this retreat, and the retreat starts this week. I don't think, or next week rather. You said after the Super Bowl. I don't think that that's going to happen. Like, I don't think he comes back after, like, by the 15th. And again, when it comes to this contract with Derek Carr, that money kicks in on the 15th. We can't sit there and wait and put our eggs in one basket for Aaron Rodgers right now, knowing that there's $40 million on the table for us, or on the line really, moving forward. We can't let that happen. I'm missing anything. It kind of sucks. Rodgers is doing this retreat again. He did the same shit last year. Probably one of the reasons DA wanted out of there. Yeah, but again, you heard Stephen A. Smith, who you guys know I'm not very fond of when it comes to talking football at all. But it seems like this was a plan that was potentially concocted by Tay and Rodgers. Like, Tay, go to Vegas. I'll see you there next year. Sounds like some type of conspiracy theory shit, but if you think about it, if it happens, you guys will think about it again and be like, yeah, that shit actually sounds, it sounded like it was concocted, but the shit makes sense now. Jimmy, he did. He absolutely did. And look, if we had a quarterback that was a veteran like Rodgers, like Brady, but again, you also have to take in consideration our defense. He said from the standpoint, like, look, we're down 7 points. We could have come back and easily won those games. But the defense also played a critical role in why we lost at times too. Shout out. Van City is in the building. What's good, bro? Uh-oh. Hello? Hello? You're unmuted now. Can't hear you, though. I'll let Van City figure that out, and he can come back in. So explain to me bringing in a 39-year-old quarterback that may play for 2 years, a bad trading assets for him. Wait. Let me highlight this, actually. So, Bill, in regards to this situation, it's similar to what would have been if we were able to end up with Tom Brady. It's a bridge gap for 2 years. We draft a quarterback to learn behind the veteran quarterback and let him be the successor of that veteran quarterback. That's realistically what the plan is. We've seen that plan in the past throughout the league. We've seen it work. Patrick Mahomes was a backup to Alex Smith. Joe Burrow was a backup to Andy Dalton. Steve Young was a backup to Joe Montana. Like, it works. You learn behind a vet. Why am I getting an angry devil face? What the hell did I do now? You know what? I'm sending this dude the link because this angry face is getting under my skin. It's grinding my gears right now. Pull on up. Yeah, you pull up. I'm not saying nothing until you pull up. We going radio silence, y'all. No, we're not. I can't do that to y'all. That would be totally fucked up. What about Keenan Allen? If he said the tasers. Yo. So Docs, pull up, bro. Just pull up. Let's have a quick conversation, especially about this one now that D. Bernie brought up, and you were talking about this on your live earlier. Pull up. I said what I said in Docs' live, and I actually wanted to scream it last night when we were doing the live together. I said fuck no, and 4 words: former Charger Tyrell Williams. Now, realistically, we know Keenan Allen is a 1. We know Tyrell Williams is a certified number 2, but dude had feet for hands here, and he couldn't do shit for us, and he was another one that was injury prone. Keenan Allen, great route running abilities, another guy at times that is often injured. I don't know at this point. I really don't know how I feel about him potentially coming here. Like, look, all the shit he talked, whatever. Look, you compete, you talk shit. That cool, whatever. But I just, like I said, when it comes to injuries and stuff, and the same goes for Jimmy Garoppolo, another dude that's injury prone. I don't want to take that chance, and I don't want to waste money on a guy that I know is not going to be able to play a full 17 games and more if we make the playoffs. So I'm definitely like, right now. Allen had a hamstring for 4 months. Yeah. And that damn, White Tyson, I haven't seen you in here since God knows when. Welcome back. Welcome back to the vault, bro. Yeah. And I don't remember who it was I was talking to today, but when it comes to these quote unquote elite wide receivers, NFC South had them, but didn't really have them. Michael Thomas, often injured. Julio Jones, often injured. I think Mike Evans was a guy that was kind of up and down with the injuries the first few years. Who's the other receiver over there? The slot. What is the kid's name? Somebody. Anybody. What is that kid's name from Tampa? I'm drawing a blank right now. Somebody help me. Anybody help. Thank you. Goodwin. Another one. Who's another elite that's often injured? D-Hop. Like, these guys are supposed to be the elites. They can't stay healthy if their life depended on it. Like, I don't understand that. You're getting paid all this money. You guys have all this treatment at your expense, and you can't stay healthy for a full 17 games. It's sad, man. It's sad. Any Ramsey? Jonathan, no. I hope the Rams cut him so we could pick him up instead of trading for him. Yeah, but you also have to think about what is Jalen Ramsey's market value, and is he affordable in regards to the cap space that we're going to potentially have. We have to think about guys that we are trying to bring in here, guys that we are trying to sign, or guys that we're trying to extend as well. Like you saw, we did the keep and cut show about 2 weeks ago, and certain guys, if they're cut, there's a lot of cap space out there. With Chandler Jones, it's another land of uncertainty right now. Is he coming back? Is he going to retire? I think he serves right now as a cap hit of, I believe, $19.1 million, something like that. Cooper Kupp isn't. Cooper Kupp, yeah, I guess. Yeah, D-Hop's getting traded this offseason too. Where the hell is he going? We don't need a receiver. We got Adams and Waller. That's enough. It's a fact. I keep hitting the wrong freaking chat. Here, Jeff. Here. Yeah, we don't need a receiver. We got Adams and Waller. That's enough. Yeah. Would Rodgers even perform well in McDaniel's system? Have doubts. So, Noah, you know what's funny? Before they got LaFleur as the head coach in Green Bay, Rodgers really wanted Josh McDaniels. So, realistically, if you think about it in regards to Rodgers' ability, Rodgers' mechanics, Rodgers is another guy that ultimately at the end of the day is another pocket passer, which is what works in the system of Josh McDaniels. And he's another guy that when he needs to, he will extend the plays. Even at 39 years old, he will extend plays with his legs and give you that discount double check. So I don't see why not. Brave Raider said, Hammer, I'm calling it now. If we get Rodgers, we sign Randall Cobb. I wish we were on Streamlabs right now, because that, my friend, is the fucking hot take. I've been hearing D-Hop to New England. Ooh. Shit. We have New England on the schedule again this year, too. I think we had the whole AFC. We had the AFC East on our schedule this year. So, Carr to the Saints, what do you think we get back? Vale, again, it's tough to say. If I hit this freaking thing one more time, it's very tough to say. I'm hoping, and I think a lot of you guys are hoping as well, that maybe we get the 29th overall, which is their first round pick. Don't know right now. Jerry King Lawler had a stroke. Rob Cisneros came on and told us Jerry King Lawler had a stroke. Thoughts, prayers, strength, and faith with Jerry King Lawler and his family during this time. Ziegler said he wants to build through youth, naturally well, trade for. He doesn't want to have a rookie as his starting quarterback this coming season. He made that clear. We also trade Waller and sign Tanyan too. Bourbon, I want to say that somebody else had said the same thing, but then again, it might have just been a conversation you and I had. I don't know how I feel about that, though. Racehorses can't stay healthy either. That's a fact. Well, if we do get Rodgers, he better give the Raiders a discount double check. So the story, the one thing that we heard, and we heard this while we were out in Vegas as well with people that we spoke to, that he allegedly will restructure his contract. Look, if you can do something to restructure it, if you're willing to restructure it to help build around you and the rest of the team, then I'm here for it. But again, we don't know. For those that are coming in right now, welcome. For those that are coming in, and for those that have been in here and haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Y'all know the routine. And if you don't, I'm going to learn you. Break them thumbs, hit them subs, smash the bell. Let me get back to it. In regards to Rodgers, for those that are just coming in, like I said, he just announced on the Pat McAfee show that he's going on some 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat. Ultimately, to make up his mind. Ultimately, we're not going to hear a single thing about this until 2 weeks from today, where he'll tell us that he's coming back to play football or not. So we're sitting here on pins and needles right now. We're 8 days away from the removal of Derek Carr, but now we also have to have this in the back burner trying to figure out what the hell is our next move at the quarterback position. Plan B, if we don't, well, this is plan B. We move on to plan C, and right now, I hate to keep even saying it. Plan C right now is probably going to be Jimmy Garoppolo or Jarrett Stidham as a starting quarterback, and then we draft a quarterback. I'm fine with drafting a quarterback to learn behind the vet, but I really hope that it's not Jimmy Garoppolo. How much is Matt going to be worth? And again, with Chandler Jones, keep doing this shit. Again, with Chandler Jones, I don't know. Again, it's something that we don't fully know. He's got 2 years left on his contract. This year would be a cap hit of $19.1 or $19.3 million, but we don't know ultimately if he's another one that's like sitting there waiting to make a final decision on his career. White Tyson, Stroud. Look, I like Stroud. Stidham and draft Stroud. Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm here for it. We're never going to be winners like the Rams. Why do you say that, Tribe? Look, this is a new regime. We're going into year 2 with them. A lot of us, including myself, put the cart ahead of the horse and not thinking realistically. Through free agency, through the draft, we built up and current players. We gave extensions. We signed some guys, but ultimately, we didn't spend in the right spots at times. We really didn't build that defense, and it showed. This was more or less the year 1 growing pains. I think as of right now, as we do have a first and a second round pick as of right now in this year's drafts, I think these guys are going to make the right decisions, the most conscious decisions that they need to make, and focus on that defense. Again, we will need a quarterback for the future if we're going the route of a bridge gap for a year, 2 years, the max. So, look, they have to succeed this year. That's the best way I'm going to put it. They have to succeed this year if Josh McDaniels comes back for year 3. If this team remotely does any of what we saw last year, 6-11, anywhere from 0-17 to 8-9 and not making the playoffs, good chance McDaniels will be gone. This is going to be this coming season is the prove it year for Josh McDaniels and the rest of the coaching staff. When it comes to our defense, when was the last time the Raiders brought back their entire defensive coaching staff? It's been a very long time. So they're trusting in these guys to do the right things. I've said this before. This is not, we're not a Philly sports team. We don't trust the process. We trust the office. We see what happens over the next few months. We start the new league year March 15th. We will be live for that. The NFL draft is April 27th in Kansas City. We will be there for that, whether it be in KC or we might just go to Vegas and do a draft again. But it's a lot to think about. The offseason is here. I'm not going on hiatus. I will be bringing you guys news as much as possible. So stay tuned. We just hit 8 o'clock. We have been on for an hour and 36 minutes, which I did not expect to be on so long tonight, but it was a great time. I appreciate everybody that pulled on up tonight. Shout out to Spicy Raider Girl. Shout out to Rob Cisneros. Shout out to Intel on the $100 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. Super Omnicron became a new subscriber. I appreciate everybody else with the super chats as well. It's all love. I wish I had Streamlabs up because I would have been able to shout you guys out. But the next time I'm on, I promise I will shout the rest of you guys out that sent the super chats. It's all love. On your way out, if you haven't already, here we go. This thing just doesn't want to cooperate with me tonight. Break them thumbs, hit them subs, smash the bell for all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. Your UFC pay-per-views, which we will be live this Saturday night for UFC 284. You're not going to want to miss that. And your WWE pay-per-views as well. Next Saturday, the 18th, Elimination Chamber. For those that pulled up for the Royal Rumble, you know we put on a good show. Big Mike will be alongside me when we do the WWE pay-per-views. And tomorrow, second time we're doing this, it is our Warzone Wednesdays. Those with Call of Duty, Xbox, PlayStation 5, PC. Pull on up, squad up. Let's have a good time. We finished 9th place last week. I think we could do better. Like I said, I made some adjustments to my sniper, so maybe this time I won't miss. But much love to everybody in here. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID is still around. Remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation, till I die. Till next time, y'all. Peace, love, and positivity. I'm out.